There's a point where more pressure washing leads stops fixing your business problems. And this is where most business owners find themselves, where leads are coming in, the revenue stays flat, things feel slow, and so everyone always assumes the answer is more marketing. But the real limiter of your business is somewhere else. And I see this over and over again because we work with over 125 exterior cleaning businesses with their marketing. And so I'll be the first to say that marketing does matter. And why is that? Because good marketing educates the customer before you talk to them. It filters out who reaches out to you and who doesn't, and it persuades homeowners to trust you over the next company. Also sets that expectation before you even have that first conversation with them. And so all of that stuff matters, but marketing still stops at intent. So the moment a homeowner has to decide what they're going to do, that's when the sales takes over. And this is where most pressure washing businesses get stuck. And so when leads are coming in but your revenue is not increasing, most people's instinct is to turn the marketing up. But what most owners don't realize is that marketing doesn't remove the problems in your business, it only amplifies them. So if your sales process is dialed in, your marketing is going to feel predictable and profitable. But if it isn't, marketing is going to feel expensive and inconsistent. And that gap isn't because you're not hustling enough, it's what happens after the lead comes in. And the belief almost every exterior cleaning business owner starts with is, if I can just get more leads, the rest will work itself out. And early on, this feels true because when lead volume increases at the beginning, your revenue spikes up fast. And at a certain point, more leads stops creating progress and starts creating problems because your schedule will fill up during the busy season, but you don't feel any more stable because it's full of cheap jobs. So every customer is broke at this point, and that's not true because what's happening is pretty simple, is that lead volume is covering for your weakness because you have unclear pricing, inconsistent follow-up, and sales conversations that never really happen because you're not answering the phone. So as long as leads come in, those gaps are going to stay hidden. What if the issue isn't how many leads you are getting, but what happens after someone actually has to decide or reaches out to you? And so what I want to do is show you this impact with just a simple scenario in math. Everything comes down to two things: how often you close and what you charge when you do close. So say there's two exterior cleaning businesses that are generating 150 leads a month. So business one is closing 20% of those leads at an average ticket of $1,000. That's 30 jobs at $30,000 in revenue. And in scenario two, they close 50% of them. So they close even more, but their average ticket is $200. So that's 75 jobs and $15,000 in revenue. Only two things have changed in this scenario are the close rate and the average ticket. So let's also say that they spent $60 each for those leads. So if they had 150 leads, they spent $9,000 to get them. And so scenario one, as we talked about, that means that they spent $9,000 to get $30,000 back. So if they spent $9,000 to get $30,000, that's a little bit more than a 3x return, and that's $21,000 in gross revenue before expenses. And then in scenario two, you spend the same $9,000 to generate $15,000, but that's $6,000 in gross revenue, and that's roughly only like a 1.6x return. And so in scenario A, that business owner actually only closed 30%, but they got twice as much money than scenario B, where they closed twice as many leads, but guess what? Their average ticket was only $200, so they earned less. And that's why always the smaller businesses look at the bigger businesses and say, how are those guys doing that? It's because they have the pricing, they understand these levers. A business will only grow to the level of its limiter. A lot of the time, that is the business owner. Now, once you hit it, more leads don't create revenue. They just create more pressure and expose what actually needs to be fixed. And until you fix those things, it doesn't matter how many leads you generate. And once a business hits that ceiling, volume becomes the only thing that actually holds it together, because then small changes start to matter more than they should. And so when pricing and sales never change, lead volume becomes the only thing that feels controllable in your business. And so there's only two ways you can grow an exterior cleaning business. You either increase your lead volume or you increase how well you convert the leads you already have, which is just simply your close rate. That's it. So most exterior cleaning business owners obsess over the first one, lead volume, which is going to be more ads, more platforms, more spend. Very few spend time on the second, which is sales, because increasing close rate requires your behavior to change, your pricing to change, and structure and how sales conversations are handled. And that is where better exterior cleaning businesses separate themselves, because they still invest in marketing. They also build a repeatable sales system because they know their numbers, they know their minimum, they know exactly how a lead is supposed to be handled from the first contact to decision. And because of that, they know how to hire at scale. So if you're wondering what your business problems to identify, ask these 3 questions. So the first question is going to be, when a lead comes in, do you have a defined way it's supposed to be handled? Who calls them? How fast does that call happen? What questions is asked before pricing is even discussed? How is urgency from the homeowner identified? How is your pricing positioned? How is follow-up handled if they don't book immediately? If all of that lives inside of your brain instead of a process, then that's going to be your limiting factor of growth. Second, if your lead volume doubled next month, would your revenue double with it? Or would you just feel busier, more scattered, and more reactive? And that answer tells you whether volume is scaling a system or exposing the lack of one that you have. And third, if you hired someone tomorrow, could you train them on sales? Could you even train them on the actual job of teaching them exterior cleaning? Could you explain what a good conversation sounds like, what questions matter, where pricing should land, and how to guide someone to a decision without guessing? And if that feels unclear, that's not a marketing problem, that's your limiter. And once you see that clearly, your growth will stop feeling chaotic and you'll start to feel more consistent and controllable. And so this is exactly how we work with exterior cleaning businesses. Yes, we mainly help with lead flow. We build and manage systems that generate consistent inbound demand, but we don't just stop there. Since we work with over 125 exterior cleaning businesses, we ask what needs to be true for more leads to actually matter in your business. So it goes back to the questions that we ask: how the leads are handled, how the sales conversations are structured, what the pricing decisions are, how follow-ups work, and how lead flows and sales hiring fit together as one complete system. Because without that, more leads just hits the same ceiling faster. If this video connected with you and you want help identifying your limiting factor in your business, we offer a free strategy session called our Lead Flow Accelerator. We'll look at your lead flow, your sales process, and numbers and help you think through what actually needs to change next. You'll find the booking link in the description below. If you don't move forward with us, that's fine. You'll still leave that call with clarity and a step or 2 closer to the goal or problem being solved. So thanks for watching, and I'll definitely see you guys in the next one.